That's my narrow technique. I only work with this technique. I never work with wider fan unless I have a gap between the natural lashes and I need to customize a 3 wider fan. By the time you brush them, because you may ask, well, Cosmina, are you going to see that the fan is different than the rest of the lash line? You're not gonna see the difference because as soon as you brush them, they all mix together.
You're listening to the Time Lash Artist Podcast. If you want to jumpstart your lash career, you can also watch Cosmi's free lash training at www.fulltimelashartist.com. Let's grow.
If you create a full set of wider fan, they will look like a messy look. But this with narrow fan, look at the top and how straight and how aligned they are. Clear? Clear? Now, the way you pick, that's the way you apply the lashes. On the sides, on the top, on the bottom. And you're going to see everything that I'm sharing right now. You're going to see more once we start practicing. I'm going to help you, each of you. I'm going to move your hand. I'm going to move your wrist, your position, so you can grab the fan correctly. Now, the way you pick up the fan, I'm almost done anyway. It doesn't want to work anymore. So the way you pick the fan, is different, like I said. It's different than the classic. Classic, you grab one lash, you pick, you apply. Fan is different. Think about you have 2 fans, 3 fans, 4, 10, 15, whatever. When you grab them, we need the pressure and also we need to have a good grip on the tweezer. For classic, you can use any type of tweezer you want. For volume, it's not the same. It took me years to find my volume tweezer. And one mistake that I did when I started, my first class was with Extreme Lashes. It was a group class back in 2017. They gave us one tweezer, right? So I used to practice with that tweezers for months. I didn't realize that, oh, Cosmina, you should have another pair of tweezers. In case you drop one, at least you have another one. No, I used to work with one tweezer for probably a year. I couldn't find a tweezer that worked for my volume anymore. I only worked with that tweezer for years, and then I started to feel my wrist because I was putting too much pressure because it didn't close good. So now, the tweezer that I customized and the tweezer that you have in the case, they have a fiber grip. So you can see inside, if you pick 30 lashes, 15 lashes, 20 lashes, 2 lashes, you will never lose the lashes because it has that fiber on inside of the tweezer. So that will help you a lot to customize the fans. Now, the tweezer that you have, one has a grip and the other one is just plain normal. That's for isolation. It's a little more curved. I love to work with curved tweezer for isolation better than the straight one. Why? Because the curved, you can grab the lashes from the base and separate them and move them away, right? With the same tweezer that you have for isolation, you can use it for picking the lashes too. So they are customized to work for both isolation and picking. We're gonna work with both later today. Now, the way you pick up the fan, this is my technique working on the strip. I'm going to show you today 3 types of techniques that you can make the volume fans. And of course, we're gonna make sure you understand the one that I like and the one that it gives you that symmetrical and a beautiful and a clean top line. It's the hardest technique, of course, but it's the most beautiful. It will take you a little time to understand the technique, but trust me, by the time you understand and you practice on this technique, you need to do the same thing over and over again. You're not switching, you're not changing anything. I've been doing this technique for 5 years. When I grab the lashes, when I have a client, my mind is not even there. Making the fans and understanding the volume is exactly like driving. When you first start to drive, you're like this. You don't see right, you don't see left, you don't see anything. When you make the fan, it's the same. Pressure, don't lose the pressure. Pick up the fan. Cosmina, too much glue. Oh, throw the lash away. Pick another fan. Once you know the technique and once you feel comfortable with the technique, You don't even know how you pick them, and you don't even know how you make them. That's how comfortable you're gonna be, because you're going to do the same thing over and over. You're not changing anything, but you need to master this technique. Once you master, and I always recommend, try to master one at a time. You start with a light set. Once you understand the technique for 2 fan, then it's the same technique that you're going to make fan of 20. You're not changing anything. It's the same technique, but try to master one at a time. You feel comfortable with making fan of 2, then go to fan of 4, fan of 5. You feel comfortable with that thickness, move to fan of 10 to 15. Bless you. So the way you make the fan, this is the hardest technique, and that's the one that we're gonna focus more. You grab the lashes, 2 to 3 lashes, 20 lashes, whatever, how many you want. You pick the lashes, you put them down on the strip where the sticky part is, right? You put them down, and then you start fanning them on the strip. Very gentle and very easy. You barely touch the lashes. As soon as you touch them, they already open. By the time they open and you like the fan, narrow or medium narrow, by the time you like the fan, you come back with the tweezer. The tweezer will rest on the pad, so you never lift the tweezer from the pad because you won't have support. You lift the lashes, keep the pressure tight, you go into the glue, and then you come and swipe between your fingers. When you swipe, you're going to crystallize the base. That means we're gonna freeze the base, so the fan will stay like this the whole time. You finish the fan, you put it in a box and save it for tomorrow or for when you have a client. So that's the technique that we're gonna do. The second technique is pinching method. I'm going to show you this technique, but it's not the one that I'm working. You grab a chunk of lashes, you grab them from the case, you go between the fingers, and then you pinch them on the base a little bit. When you pinch them, you need to remember to open the pressure on the tweezer. If you keep the pressure tight, they won't move. When you move, you open this and then open them. As soon as you see the lashes open, then you close the tweezer again and go in the glue. Second technique. Third technique is working one by one. That's called twisting technique. You have a natural lash here, right? You go on the case, you grab one lash. It's almost like classic, but we're creating a fan. You pick one lash from the container, which is 0.10. You apply the lash on the side. You come back, you pick another lash, you apply on the other side. You come, you pick another lash, apply on the top. So the problem with this technique, it's easier. It's very easy because you already know classic, but it's not going to be symmetrical. It's not going to be clean, because how about if you put this right one 2 down and then you come with the left one a little up, you already messed up the line on the top, right? Like I said, it's easier, but it's not the most beautiful and clean. All 3 of them, we're gonna practice with them. The pinching one, it will help you to customize a bigger fan quicker, because you grab like 5, 6, 7 lashes and you pinch them. By the time they open, you already have a big fan, which with the stripping or on the strip, working on the strip, is going to take you a little bit to pick fan of 5. But we're gonna work with all 3 of them. So that's the technique that we're going to focus more. You're gonna pick the lashes first, 2 to 3. Step 2, you're gonna pull them a little bit towards your face, and then you pick them up, you put them down again, you make the fan, you pick them again as a fan, and you go in the glue. By the time you go, now even my students, this is the hardest technique to understand, and the hardest part is swiping. Remember, it's not pinching, it's swiping. What is swiping? Pinching, you switch your fingers like this and pinch, right? Swiping, you hold the fingers and the hand next to you. And one thing that you will remember, and it's gonna be easier to remember, have your elbow on your hip all the time, so you're not switching, because obviously you cannot switch like this. So have your elbow here and then fingers here. You're gonna make the fan, you're gonna come here, swipe, and then put the fan down. Swiping means you want to take away, just to explain you more to understand, swiping is taking the glue away from the side. Make sense? If you're not swiping tight and correct, the fan is gonna open because you didn't freeze that base. So not pinching, swiping. We're gonna play with that a lot today. And then how much glue we're picking. That's another thing when you work with volume. So the glue area is about 2 to 3 millimeters. That's how much glue and how deep you're going to go with your extension. We're not going to go more than 3 millimeters because if you go too deep, guess what's going to happen? The fan is gonna close because the glue goes up. So you literally have to touch only that little base because when the client comes, you go back in the glue. So the whole idea on crystallizing the fans and making the fans is to use very little amount of glue. So we touch the glue, we come up, we swipe, and we let the fan away. When the client comes, when you have a client, we go back in the glue a little bit deeper and then you apply on a client. But when you apply on a client, there is no way the fan is gonna close. Why? Because it's already crystallized. And that's everything about volume.
If you got a passion for lashes, let me see it. It's time to level up. If you need me to, I'll teach you my 6-figure secret. Better believe it, cause I believe in you. You're listening to the Time Lash Artist Podcast. If you want to jumpstart your lash career, you can also watch Cosmi's free lash training at www.fulltimelashartist.com. Let's grow.